You're live.
Hello, YouTube world. Welcome to Mr. Natural's Music School here in California, San Francisco, in the Haight-Ashbury district. Welcome to our music school. So today we're going to continue with our ear training and our dictation training. The last 3 lessons we focused in on forms, poetry, and rhythmic curve. These are methods and techniques for creating forms that you can just plug these code words into to create rhythms to generate songs. You can also write drum parts if you want to, although drums use a lot of paradiddles and extra ordinarily fast rhythms. But nonetheless, the idea is sound and it works. What we're doing is we're taking code words which generate these rhythms, putting the code words together, learning to hear these code words, and then being able to write them down. So you will need a pencil and piece of paper, and you'll need some kind of hard backing that you can set the paper on so you can write on it as we go. So to get back to what we were doing before, if you go through lessons 1 through 7, you have some good solid ear training there for rhythms. And the rhythms we've done so far are drum, Tarzan, alligator. Then we used compounded rhythms where we took part of Tarzan and part of alligator and we made tar, gator, and alazan, alazan. And that gives us 5 code words. Today we're going to add 2 more code words, but before we do, we're going to do a general review for the next 10 minutes just to get your ear going again and locking back into those 5 other rhythms that we had. And then I'm going to show you a new technique in which this time what we're going to do is freeze certain syllables or say them to ourselves and only say out loud other parts of the syllables of the word to generate even more complicated code words, more complicated rhythms. So today we're going to be using what I call hold and suspend as a way in order to generate other complicated rhythms. The bottom line is this: no matter how complicated a rhythm gets, it can always be brought back to some whole version of drum, Tarzan, or alligator. And drum, Tarzan, and alligator can be used to compound or by holding syllables to create all the other rhythms that are generated, that'll be generated here. So let's start with the basics, which are drum, which in music we call this a quarter note, and then Tarzan, which are normally would be drawn separately like this, but when you have more than 2 of them, we can tie them together in groups of 2, or we can even tie them together in groups of 4. So this could be Tarzan, Tarzan, and you know it's Tarzan, Tarzan because it has a single flag. If we put a double flag on it like this and then another flag, we are now changing this from Tarzan, Tarzan to alligator. This is said in 1 beat. This is 1 beat. This half is 1 beat. That half is 1 beat. So this is actually 2 beats. You can tell the difference because of the double flagging. Now individually, these would be drawn just like that. Each of these syllables could be represented by a note with 2 flags. So this and this are same. Or I can do this. This, and this, same. Alligator, alligator, alligator. Okay? So they can be written this way. Now, the reason we would write them this way is because we might want to get rid of part of it and replace it with one of those guys, which is a rest. So this 8th note rest takes up the time of 2 16th notes, and then we have the 2 16th notes. So this would be gator, gator, gator. I would think alligator, gator, gator, gator. Now we're going to use these techniques, these ideas, to start generating some of these other rhythms today, but we're going to start with drum and Tarzan as a warm-up. And again, we're doing everything in what we call 4/4 time, so there'll be 4 beats in a measure, also known as common time. You'll see them notated either of these 2 ways. All right? So let's get started. Right now, I'm going to generate four beats of a rhythm, and I want you to tell me what it is. Do it again. Once more. What you should have heard was, now remember, we draw in the stems first because we can actually hear the rhythm with the pen as we draw this. So we had drum, drum, Tarzan, drum. Okay, next one. Again. Once more. So this one was Tarzan, Tarzan, drum, drum. Tarzan, Tarzan, drum, drum. Got it? Okay. Next one. Again. Tarzan, drum, Tarzan, drum. Tarzan, drum, Tarzan, drum. Okay, one more. Drum, Tarzan, Tarzan, drum. Drum, Tarzan, Tarzan, drum. Drum, Tarzan, Tarzan, drum. All right, that should get an ear warmed up for those. Now, I'm going to add in alligator. All right? Again. Again. Drum, Tarzan, alligator, drum. Drum, Tarzan, alligator, drum. Again. Once more. Alligator, Tarzan, alligator, drum. Alligator, Tarzan, alligator, drum. Alligator, Tarzan, alligator, drum. That's what you should have on paper. Now, if you're not writing this on paper, you're doing yourself an injustice, because it's like the difference between learning to print the English language and learning script. Sooner or later, even though they're not teaching script in school anymore, sooner or later, script is a faster way to write and a much more fluid way to write. And when you're hearing things or you're talking to someone, most people can write out English in script while they're discussing something with someone. So once you get this going, it flows and it becomes an easy extension. You hear something and then you write it out. So the more you practice writing this, the easier it's going to get recognizing it in printed form and being able to write out your ideas. A lot of people can write down the melodies now, but then they have to go back and listen again to get the rhythm. And the rhythm part seems to be the hardest part for people to figure out. They seem to be able to figure out the melodies okay, but this rhythm part is the difficult part. So that's why we're doing this. Okay, so one more with drum, Tarzan, or alligator? Listen carefully. Once more. What you should have heard was alligator, Tarzan, Tarzan, drum. Alligator, Tarzan, Tarzan, drum. Alligator, Tarzan, Tarzan, drum. All right, just one more with that. Are you ready? Harder because I ended with something, right? Wait. I just forgot what I did.
Tarzan,
alligator. Tarzan, alligator.
Alligator,
Tarzan. Short-term memory is not so good these days, and you get to be my age. You're lucky you can remember how to tie your shoes. So, Tarzan, alligator, alligator, Tarzan. Tarzan, alligator, alligator, Tarzan. This was hard because of the Tarzan on the end. If we end with a drum, it's like a period, and it stands independent. If we answer with Tarzan or an alligator or anything more complicated here, your ear tends to float. We don't hear the upbeat, and we tend to think it's a simpler rhythm than it is. But this allows a comma to happen so we can go on to write yet another measure of rhythm. So these rhythms are dependent rhythms. We have independent rhythms and dependent rhythms. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is add in, we did this code word where we took the first part of alligator and the last part of Tarzan, and we got Alizan, Alizan, Alizan. So now I'm going to use this one. Once more. Alligator, Alizan, Tarzan, drum. Alligator, Alizan, Tarzan, drum. Alligator, Alizan, Tarzan, drum. Listen carefully. Alizan, Alizan, Tarzan, drum. I was actually thinking of a piece of music. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-da-dum, bum. Right? Little piece of Bach going through my head. Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, bum, bum, bum. Okay, we're going to continue on. Easy peasy. Drum, drum, Alizan, drum. One more. Once more. Once more. And again, when we end it with something other than a drum, drum, Alizan, 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 drum, Alizan, 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 drum, Alizan, Alizan, Alizan. Okay, now let's do the opposite of that. If we start with a tar for the Tarzan, and then we do the gator here at the end, the gator part, we have tar, gator, tar, gator, tar, gator, tar, gator. So now I'm going to add that in, okay? Tar-gator, tar-gator, Tarzan drum. Tar-gator, tar-gator, Tarzan drum. Once more. Tarzan, tar-gator, Tarzan, tar-gator, Tarzan, tar-gator, Tarzan, tar-gator, Tarzan, tar-gator, Tarzan, tar-gator. Okay, listen carefully. Tar-gator, tar-gator, alligator, drum. Tar-gator, tar-gator, alligator, drum. Okay, now we're going to use both tar-gator and alizan. Okay, be careful. Tar-gator, alligator, tar-gator, drum. Tar-gator, alligator, tar-gator, drum. Listen carefully. Tar-gator, alizan, Tarzan, drum. Tar-gator, alizan, Tarzan, drum. Tar-gator, alizan, Tarzan, drum. Okay, one more. Sorry. Tar-gator, alligator, alizan, drum. Tar-gator, alligator, alizan, drum. Tar-gator, alligator, alizan, drum. I'm tongue twisted for some reason. Didn't have my coffee before I did this. Big mistake, folks. All right. We've done that. Now what I'm going to do for the last 10 minutes here is introduce some new concept which will generate new code words. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on the idea of holding or suspending certain vowels. I'd like to start with something like this. What happens if I take drum, Tarzan, and what I do is, say I'm playing the piano or a trumpet or something, I hold these two vowels together, so I only have the beginning of this vowel and the end of that vowel. So now what happens here is we have the quarter note, the eighth note is tied in, and we usually do that by putting half of this value with a dot, and then we have the independent back half of this Tarzan. So listen carefully. Tarzan, drum, Tarzan, drum, Tarzan, drum, zan, drum, zan, drum, zan, drum, zan, drum, zan, drum. So what we have here is drum. In our head, we say tar. I'll put parentheses around it, and then zan. Drum, zan, drum, zan, drum. you see the tar is this little dot. Drum, zan, drum, zan, drum, zan, drum, zan. This is creating what's called a swing rhythm, giving us an offbeat here. And swing rhythms, hip-hop rhythms, jazz rhythms all use this offbeat thing. And they'll often do it by suspending some of the vowels, some of the syllables here in our code words. But you can see something like this breaks back down into drum and tarzan. So this is some form of drum and tarzan. Let's take a look at another one that's very common in jazz. If we take the zan here and the tarzan here and tie those guys together, we're going to get a rhythm like this. Here's our eighth notes. 2 eighth notes together equal a quarter note, and then we have our eighth note again. So we get this kind of a rhythm. And this is extremely popular in jazz. In the jazz standards, it comes up in almost every song throughout the jazz standard book. You will see this time and time again. Now, how do we work this out? It's actually tarzan, 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 tarzan. But when we say zan here, the tar is silent. We think that in our head. And so we say tar, zan, zan. Tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan. So now we're getting tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan. See, I'm still thinking tarzan, tarzan in my head, but what I'm getting is tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan, tarzan, zan. This is a very, 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 very common rhythm. As I said, you'll find it in jazz quite a bit and in some pop songs. Again, this now becomes an offbeat and that becomes an offbeat. And the way we control it is by thinking of the code word tarzan twice and making this silent, the tar silent. Okay? So this idea of making certain syllables silent and then holding the note out for that period of time, you'll get something like you get this rhythm. Okay? Now let's take a look at the alligator. What happens if I take and I say Allah and then hold these others in my mind? So I say al, Allah, and then the gay, tor. We keep those in our mind, and what we're doing is suspending that one and that one. And what we're writing is Allah, 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 da da, da da, da da, da da, da da. I'm doing so you can hear the syllables. Allah, 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 Allah. And this equals a new code word, which we call okay, Tom. There it is. You keep sending me an email saying, when are we going to use butter? There it is. Okay? It's alligator, 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 alligator. Butter, 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 butter. Let's turn this around. What happens if we sustain the first 3 syllables and say the last one, tor? Well, we'd have al, tor, 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 which equals, how do you spell this?
H-U-M-P-T-Y.
H-U-M-P-T-Y. Hump. I always think HUMPTY. For some reason, it's HUMPTY. HUMPTY. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. Alice. Alec. 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 Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. These guys are written this way. We start with the what we do is these 3 guys together is this guy, and this guy by itself is, so we have a double flag on this first part, which gives us the al, and then la, gay, ter. La, gay, because we have 2 syllables in there. 2 syllables of this equal 1 syllable of the 8th note, and then the dot, adding in half the value of the 8th note. So we have a, gay, and tor represented there. Al, a, gay, tor. Al, a, gay, ter. Al, gay, ter. Butter, butter, butter. And this one is written exactly the opposite. We put the 16th flag over here, which represents the tor, and the alla, and then gay, tor. Alligator, 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 Humpty, Humpty, Dumpty, Dumpty. Now, when I was younger, we didn't use Humpty Dumpty because we have kids. I used a word which I still use in my head. I use ergot, 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 ergot. This is cleaner, easier to hear. This is a little bit harder to hear. And when we hear Humpty, we always associate it with Dumpty. So we want to say Humpty, and in our head we're saying Dumpty, but the next code word might be something else. So this takes time to get used to, but if this is all you've done, no problem. So this can be Humpty, or it can be Dumpty, 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 Humpty, 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 but ergot, ergot, ergot also works. All right? What we're going to do is next week start putting those into our rhythm practice. All right? So now we have the trickiest one of them all. Here's our 16th notes, and we're going to tie the 2 in the middle together. So we have al, la, gate is silent, tor, alla, 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 bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum bum. Bum, 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 bum. And this could be rewritten as double flag 16th note. 2 flags together creates a 1 flag 8th note character, and then the 16th note out here again. Alla, tor, alla, tor, alla. Tor. And if we compound this together, it's often written looking like this. Alla, tor, alla, tor, alla, tor. Now, if this is hard to do, it's quite understandable because it's going by fast and it's pretty quick. But a trick that we can do in rhythm in order to make things simpler is if we take all of our rhythm values and we double them, okay? So let's take this. instead of a 16th, let's represent that by an eighth note. And instead of a eighth note there, let's represent this as a drum or quarter note. And then let's take this and represent this as an eighth note. And what we now have is we've doubled the 16 to an 8, doubled the eighth to a quarter, doubled the 16th to an 8, and what we have is Tarzan, zan, bum, 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 bum. This is the same as that, except this is twice as fast. This takes 1 beat, this takes 2 beats. But this is easier for the eyeball to read. So if you're trying to find out what that feels like or sounds like, doubling the rhythms here, and then just learning to speed it up. So this is bum 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 bum. But this is bum 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 bum. It has the same bum bum, same feel, same sound, except twice as long. So bum 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 bum. This sped up twice as fast becomes that. Let's say that this is hard for you to understand. Then take this eighth note and make it a quarter note. Take this quarter note, turn it into a 2-beat note, and take this eighth note and make it a quarter note. And now what we have is bum 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 bum. Same sound. And if we quadruple the speed of this, we get that. If we double the speed of that, we get this. This tiered level of taking the rhythms and doubling each part of it until we get something like this, which anybody can read. Eighth note, a quarter note, followed by 2 beats, followed by a quarter note again, quarter note, half note, quarter note, bum 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 bum. I've got that feeling. Double the speed, bum bum bum, Tarzan, zan, Tarzan, zan. Double the speed, Alec, Alec, same sound, okay? These are all essentially equivalent to each other because we've kept the ratio the same. And this is a technique that I teach my students. When you run into really complicated rhythms, simply double the note values and see if it simplifies the rhythm for you to visualize. If you're still having problem, double that again. And you should eventually take any rhythm, no matter how complex, if it's 32nd and 64th notes, okay? As a lot of modern composers try to write, which by the way, I doubt very much that they could play that. But nonetheless, some people, because of computers and things, we theoretically can go up to like 64th notes. And if you see something that's in 32nd and 64th notes and you go, oh, I can't figure it out, Natch. Well, turn them all from 64th and 32nds to eighth notes, right? Or change them to quarter notes, or change them to quarter notes and half notes, until finally you get something so large that it's easy to count out 1 beat at a time, and then hear that rhythm, get it planted in your head, the sound of it, and speed it up until you can change the meter, and you'll wind up getting this sounds like this twice as fast, and this will sound like that twice as fast. Got it? So this technique of increasing and increasing the note values until you arrive at something here that you can hold on to, and then listen to that and memorize the sound of it. So all of these guys are pretty much same. All right, so we're going to leave it at that for this week. And next week what we're going to do is start taking some of these things, and we're going to take specifically the term butter and Humpty and start adding those in. For instance, Humpty Dumpty Humpty drum, Humpty Dumpty Humpty drum, Humpty Tarzan, Humpty Tarzan, Humpty Tarzan, Dum. Okay? So, until next week, folks, be seeing you right here, same place, same time, 7:30. We're on the, what my mother referred to as the left coast. So we're on the east coast of America. So we're on we're on the west coast of America. On the left coast is the west coast, sorry. The east coast is the right coast, sorry. The right side of America. We're on the left side of America, the west coast. And we're in what's called Pacific Standard Time, PST. All right, so please, we'll see you next week, same time, same station at 7:30, right here in Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco, at Mr. Natural's Music School. So long until then, keep on keeping on, folks.